What are three popular things? TikTok, Instagram, and Apple Watch bands. On TikTok and Instagram, I constantly get ads for Apple Watch bands, specifically this type of Apple Watch band, the floppy ones that you can just stretch over your wrist and bam, you're good to go. I decided I'm going to review 3 different watch bands from 3 different companies and tell you if those Instagram and TikTok Apple Watch bands are actually worth your money. At the cheapest end, we have the Amazon. In the middle, we have Zox. And at the end, we have the Braxley band. Let's jump into the Amazon ones, the cheapest ones first. Apple Watch bands. So first up, we have the Amazon Apple Watch bands. And these just came in a really plain plastic little Ziploc. So first up with these bands, I don't have my notes. So they're $10 for a pair or $5 a piece. Wow. They also have metal connectors, which I think is pretty wild. Most of the time when you're getting something this cheap, you wouldn't expect metal connectors, but they're just the cheaper metal connectors. You can see here, I'll do some close-ups later. There is some evidence that they're cheap. They've got these little screws on the back so you can adapt them to any type of slip-on band. They've also got metal little slip bits here for adjusting your band, little adjustments, whatever, and they're stretchy. Surprise, surprise. All of these are like an elastic type, soft type band. This one is no different. You can tell the weaving is pretty straight across. This is one of the main things I do want to talk about. So it is comfortable, but there's this uneven stretch to it. You can kind of see right there. And they kind of do warp a little bit. You can see here on this band especially, look at that weird type of warping and distortion just from me wearing that for probably about a week to work. It is super difficult to adjust. I don't know if it's the weave or what it is, but not great. It's also really, really thin. This is the thinnest band of the 3 by far. And this is the elastic that I'm gonna say, it feels like it's gonna snap. Like when I'm doing this, it feels like it's gonna break. I feel like I'm seconds away from busting this band every time I use it. The main saving grace about these Amazon bands is that you have Prime shipping. So you just pay your tax, and if you've got Prime, you're getting there in 2 days, baby, and it's free. It's free shipping, you know what I mean? So next up is Zox, and I put that Apple Watch band on because I figured I might as well be wearing the Apple Watch band in the actual video. Who would have thought? This is a $25 Apple Watch band plus tax and shipping. Shipping's $5 to $10, obviously, depending on how far you have to go. And I believe it's also like 75 cents to get insured shipping. I'm not sure why. It is a bit thicker of a band, which is great compared to the Amazon one. And it's got plastic connectors. Don't tell me why. If I want to wear this thing on my wrist, I've got to wear plastic on the edge right here. I don't know if it's just because they want to save a buck, but I know that those connectors they have on the cheap Apple Watch bands basically cost nothing. Why these are plastic molded ones, I honestly couldn't tell you. And they're not easily interchangeable. I'd have to snap them off in order to put on metal ones. On top of all that, getting this plastic connector off the Apple Watch is incredibly difficult because one direction you go to slide that band off, it just won't. The other connectors on the other Apple Watch bands are fine. For whatever reason, this one just refuses to go off one direction. I don't understand it. The good news is it does have a better weave than the Amazon band. It is interlinked rather than being straight across and very grid-like. It also has printing on it. So this has a very cool little rainbow speckle pattern going around the whole band, which I really enjoy. And on top of that, it does have a metal adjuster for sliding the watch band around to adjust it. And on the inside, it has something that's especially cool, and I will show you in real time. First of all, there's the band not going one way, which is really rad, but it will go the other way. Isn't that cool? It says Zox, which is nice, and then it says this, collect the happy moments. That's the band I chose. That's the name of this band, actually, Collect the Happy Moments. And on the back of the Zox tag, there's a little number that says 18,739. And each band is individually numbered from Zox, which is actually really cool. It makes it feel really individual and almost special in a way. That does mean, because it's printed, it does have one weird quality to it, which is this. it turns white underneath. So these are all white bands that get the, or white elastic that gets the thing printed onto it. So you do have that weird stretch, but that shouldn't be a big deal because that's only going to be seen when you're putting the Apple Watch band on. The good thing about this Apple Watch band is it does stretch a lot more evenly than the Amazon bands. However, it does still kind of get that wonky waviness from taking it on and off your wrist, which I don't love. The good news is, compared to that really bad Amazon band, this is much easier to adjust. This slides a lot easier across the kind of diagonal weave they have going on the fabric here. It is made of polyester and also recycled water bottles, allegedly. So that is cool. It does feel a little more plasticky and a little less fabric-y than the cheap Amazon band. It's a little more stiff. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something I don't particularly enjoy. All right, let's go move to the last position in my office, and we'll talk about that Braxley band now. Without showing too much outside, I'm not gonna lie, I'm putting you right here. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have the Braxley band for $35 plus shipping and tax. Again, $5 to $10, and I believe there's also the ability to buy their premium tracking and insurance. This does have metal connectors. It's actually got nicer metal connectors than the Amazon band. It's got Live Flexibly printed on one of them, and there's no screws. They're all one big metal piece, which is really nice. I like to see that. It also has a much larger, and this camera might actually pick it up, a much larger diagonal weave, which I think looks really super nice. I also prefer the red color they have. This is the only company of these three that just has a straight up bright red. Why? I don't know, but that's the color I want, and that's the color I got. It is easily, in a good way, the thickest band and the most comfortable one to wear. It has a great stretch. I'll do it right now. And it reforms really well without getting all crooked and weird. And it's also the easiest to adjust. I don't know what it is about the weave on this Apple Watch band, but if I'm like, oh, let me just get a little more snug, it does it super well and it doesn't slip, which is also a thing you run the risk of with making it easier to adjust. There is a reason this band is $35, right? You get the starting and as engineering students wanting to make these Apple Watch bands, starting from socks. So they want this really soft feeling. You have metal connectors, you have the best weave, you have the thickest weave, you have their specific Relastic proprietary material. It's machine washable. They actually advertise that as like one of the main selling points. You can just chuck this in your washing machine, pull it out, and bam, you're good to go. There is, however, one issue with it that I find to be the biggest letdown, but also not the biggest deal. It frays a little bit. That bigger weave, when I am stocking, I work in a store where I'm stocking at night, and I do that for, 8 hours a night? So I'm constantly putting things on shelves, I'm reaching through things with my Apple Watch band on, and it does start to fray. It also, because of that bigger weave, picks up dust pretty well. So I find myself kind of going along the edges and pulling little bits, little tufts of dust off, and I'm probably honestly pulling a bit of the weave with it. I really don't like that about it. I would gladly trade that for the comfortability of this band. One last thing about the Braxley band is I like their color combinations a lot better. They've got a really wide variety of colors. They've got some funky, kind of weird ones like Zox, some more random patterns, and then a lot of just good plain colors, which the Amazon ones have a lot of colors as well, but you know, the quality of those. So the conclusion I've come to over the last few weeks of using these different Apple Watch bands is that they come in all different shapes and sizes, especially at these different price points. I do not like the Amazon ones very much. They're fine. There's a reason they're $5 though. And if you're okay with that, I can understand why you would just buy a bunch of these, swap them out whenever you like if you have different outfits, and just deal with the fact that they're not great. But they're just not my favorite. I want a better experience than that. So then you move up to the Zox, and I have a lot of problems with this. It's not bad. I actually like their other products more. which is so weird. I bought bracelets from Zox because I liked their deals they had running at the time. A special deal on bracelets, or if you bought so much, you had free shipping. So I added 2 bracelets, one for me and one for my girlfriend, Anita, and we both wear them all the time. They're perfect. They're low profile. They're elastic, just like the other ones. They have some of the same problems as the normal watch band, but they're comfortable and I really like them, right? Plus, they still have their cool sayings on the inside and they're individually numbered. I like them a lot. I would not personally get their Apple Watch band again. It's just not my favorite. I would 100% get different colors of the Braxley band. And you might be like, why? It's so expensive. I just like the quality of this thing a little more. It feels best on the wrist. It's easiest to adjust. And I feel like every time I put it on, I'm not going to snap it in half. I feel like the elastic isn't a second away from breaking every time I use it. I like their colors. I think the company being an Austin-based company and their story of starting making socks in college, sock watch bands in college, and then slowly becoming the production house they are now. I really just enjoy that story. I think their website's done really well. Their style is very unique. And I think the product is just straight up the best one. Unfortunately, it is the most expensive one. But considering Apple Watch bands from Apple are $50 a piece, $35, really not too bad. Thank you for joining me for this video. I know I haven't been around in a while. I'd appreciate if you do subscribe here for more content. I'm hoping to do some more reviews. I've actually got a fidget review I kind of want to do. And I'm also thinking about reviewing my glasses because I bought pair eyewear glasses. So we'll see about that. Of course, my social media links are down below. Check out my streams on Twitch and on my gaming channel here on YouTube. Those are also linked down below, and the link should be popping up here as well. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Take care.